Hey folks, Nick here from Another BookTube channel. Today with my February wrap-up. I finished 6 books this month, which I think is a little bit less than I usually do for a month now. It could have been more, but there's a few things that contributed to that number being, I guess, as low as it is. Although I did also finish 3 pretty decent sized graphic novels this month as well, which I'm excited about. The reasons why my reading output was a little bit, I guess, less. Well, I don't know if the output was less, honestly. By number, I mean, 6 books seems lower than I usually do, but 2 of those books were over 500 pages. And the book that I'm reading right now to end the month is a really long book as well, and that's going to take me into March. So I probably could have easily hit my usual number. Another reason that I didn't finish as many books, well, February is a shorter month, of course, but I spent 5 days on a book that I ended up DNFing, which was rough, especially in February, which is a short month. DNF a book after 5 days is like... It's devastating. It put me into a little bit of a reading slump for a little bit there. So that book was Chain Gang All-Stars by Nanakwame Aje-Brenya. And I've actually got a video, I think it went up last week or it's coming up soon, I don't know, video on my channel explaining why I was not able to finish that book. The short version is that it was a science fiction book that had, to me, the feel of only the facade of an actual science fiction story, and it was just an outlet for the author to kind of write about something a lot more serious, which is fine. I just didn't really care for the execution. It didn't work for me, and I explained my thoughts more in depth in that video. So check that out for more information. The books that I did finish this month, I'll start with Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. This was a really fun book. H.P. Lovecraft monsters that are in cahoots with the Ku Klux Klan in the United States South in the 1920s, and they're being hunted by some freedom fighting monster hunters, and it was just fun. It was just a fun time. Nice, short, sweet book. I have a full review of that up on the channel as well, so check that out. I also finished Reanimator, the novelization of the movie by Jeff Rovin. Another one that I have a full review of this one. This one I think is coming out soon. I don't know. I don't know what I'm scheduling this stuff as, but there's going to be a review on the channel at some point of that one. I'm a big fan of the Reanimator movie by Stuart Gordon. And it was a very faithful novelization, and one that did enough to add certain things to it to make it its own experience, while also keeping the spirit of the movie very much alive. So that was a really good novelization, one of the better ones that I've read, at capturing the tone of the original movie. Let's see, what else did I read? Oh, I read another 87th Precinct book. I read Till Death by Ed McBain. This another banger by McBain. I have yet to be let down by one of these books in this series. This one is about Detective Steve Carella. His sister is getting married, and his soon-to-be brother-in-law has received a death threat. And so Steve and a couple other detectives attend the wedding and try to ferret out who is trying to kill him, if anybody, and just, make sure that he and the bride live happily ever after. It was really, really a good time. Great ending in this one in particular. Really tense, very exciting. McBain is awesome. What else we got here? The Thin Man by Dashiell Hammett. Some classic detective pulp noir. This was pretty good. I don't know that I responded to it as strongly as maybe a lot of people will. I thought it was good. I thought it was a little bit confusing at times. And I don't know if that's just a product of it being a a much older book that I'm used to reading. This is written in 1930s, so maybe just the style of writing didn't sync for me. I found it a bit challenging at times, particularly because a lot of the characters in here are constantly just lying and changing their stories and changing their minds about things. So just keeping up with what's going on was a little bit tricky. So I liked it, but I didn't like love it. Love it. What I did love though is The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan, the third book in the Wheel of Time. This one review I did post last week, so full thoughts there. But doing the reread now, and I enjoyed this much more the second time around. Uh, the series has proven to be very fruitful in a reread. If that makes sense, the first time through, a lot of stuff gets missed just trying to keep your head above water. But Dragon Reborn, there was a lot in here. This is a really important book to the series because it's really the first one where you start to branch out and see point of views of other characters, and it's tackled really really well. Robert Jordan is an expert master storyteller. He was great. All right, and the last prose book that I finished was another series book, Babylon's Ashes by James S.A. Corey. This is the sixth book in the Expanse series. I don't have a review of this coming up anytime soon, despite the fact that this might be maybe my new favorite in the series thus far. I really, really enjoyed this one. It is. I'm not. I won't, I don't want to go too much into what it's about. If you haven't read any of the series, I don't want to give away anything for like the sixth book. But yeah, there was a world-changing, cataclysmic event in the previous book, and we are continuing dealing with that fallout and the people responsible for it. And this was a great, epic-sized story. In a way, felt like a finale, which I believe the TV show ends after this book. It's 6 seasons of a show; it ends at the sixth book. So that makes sense. But we got three. I got three more books to enjoy, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, Babylon's Ashes was great, and the book that I'm reading right now, which I'm going to take to the end, like through into the beginning of March, is The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, the fourth Wheel of Time book. I'm already about halfway done with it. Took me about 4 days to get to this point. Most likely, it'll take me another 4 days to get to the rest of it. So that'll take me into that first week of March. And I'm. This is Dragon Reborn. I liked more the second time. This one I am loving this second time through, and I don't remember loving it the first time. I remember finding it a little bit confusing. But now that I have all the context that I need, it's coming across a lot easier. So really loving this. Can't wait to get to the ending and see how that sticks with me this the second time through. Some graphic novels and comic books. Some more pulp detective stuff. Mystery Deadline. This is a collection of the Mystery comic books, which was published independently in the 80s, I believe. Mystery is a detective, and these are your classic hardboiled detective stories, tracing down runaways who get into prostitution, dealing with a serial killer that's targeting specific a specific group of people that were like friends in high school. So those types of stories, pretty good. I do think that these probably worked a lot better in the original serialized format. One a month. I think reading them all straight through uh, kind of became a little bit tedious after a while, a little bit samey. But I could see how the individual single issues would be fun to get, once a month off the newsstand. Something quite different, which I did a video on earlier in the month, is Boy Maximortal by Rick Veitch. I did a deep dive into this. I did a deep dive, comic read along video with this one. Um, I love Rick Veitch's Max Immortal. I was really excited that he finally dropped a trade paperback of this new entry in the series. I found it a little bit disappointing. The story's great. His Rick Veitch's writing has not suffered at all. But for whatever reason, maybe it's because he's gotten older. Maybe he's just changed the way he draws. Maybe he's doing more digitally. Maybe it's because of the fact that there's not a lot of return for this. This is very much a passion project, and it's Amazon print on demand, so there's not a lot of money that he's getting for it. He's taken a lot of shortcuts in the art, which is a bit disappointing. When you've seen Rick Veitch at his peak, at his best, to go kind of take a step back and see something like this, a little bit disappointing. I understand all of the potential reasons why he could be taking those shortcuts, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing. But probably the best graphic novel I read this month was The Goon, Bunch of Old Crap Omnibus, Volume 4. I think I took a break from the Goon for like an entire year. I don't know if I read any Goon in 2023, or maybe I'm just losing my mind. But I feel like it had been a long time since I read any of Eric Powell's stuff, and it's great. Love going back to this character. Love the Goon. I love this whole series. I love all the mishmash of styles of like 20s gangster style mixed with monster stuff and supernatural elements. It's funny and it can be very sad at times. There's so much variety to this series and this world. I absolutely adore the Goon. There's one more omnibus, I believe, in publication that I'm going to be picking up probably later this year, and I can't wait to read that as well. I cannot recommend the Goon enough to anybody that enjoys comic books. So that is it. That is what I read in February. Pretty decent amount, even with the short month, even with DNFing a book after 5 days. Looking forward to March. I'm finishing this Wheel of Time book. I'm also going to be doing a buddy read with Alex from Alex Unabridged. We're going to be reading Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfit. Looking forward to that. As for what else I'm going to read in March, who knows? I've got some Buffy books that I need to catch up on. I've got a lot more 87th Precinct to read, so at least one of those most likely. And then just whatever else I'm in the mood for. So that's it. Let me know what you read in March. No, what you read in February. Let me know in the comments how your reading month went. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now it's time to get back to reading.